Hello everybody, my name is James, hope you're doing well and welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about new comments that have been made about Oliver Bearman following his impressive performance in Mexico, as well as a new report on Lewis Hamilton's contract. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more Formula 1 content. Also make sure to follow me and exit James's pit lane, I'll leave a link in the description, but let's jump straight into the video. So let's start with Oliver Bearman, and as we know, he put in a very impressive performance in Mexico. Following Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen battling on lap 6 of the Grand Prix, Bearman managed to move his way into P4, which became P3 when Lewis Hamilton pitted and served a 10-second time penalty, and Bearman was doing a very impressive job. He had Max Verstappen behind him in a much faster Red Bull, but Verstappen was just not closing in on Bearman and was sitting around 2 seconds behind him. So Bearman in the Haas doing an amazing job, and I reckon he could have finished on the podium had he done a one-stop strategy. He ended up doing a two-stop strategy, and that put him in P4. Still though, an absolutely unbelievable drive from Bearman to put a Haas in P4. And while this may be his best drive of 2025, he still put in really good performances this season and has finished in the points on multiple occasions, and Bearman currently holds 11-9 advantages over his Haas teammate Esteban Ocon in both their qualifying and race head-to-heads this season. And given Ocon is driving his 10th season in F1 and has been closely matched with the likes of Fernando Alonso and Pierre Gasly in recent years at Alpine, Bearman's form is really impressive. Now, Bearman was signed to the Ferrari Driver Academy in 2021 and made his Grand Prix debut in 2024, standing in for Carlos Sainz at Ferrari in Saudi Arabia. And that as well was a seriously impressive debut. I mean, Bearman barely had any practice for the Grand Prix, but he still managed to finish in P7, and following that performance, he was loaned out to Haas on a multi-year deal at the start of 2025. Now, Ferrari have Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton contracted at the team until at least the end of 2026, but with new regulations coming into play next year, it's possible that the grid could be shaken up, and Sky Sports F1's Martin Brundle feels that Bearman should get the next available seat at Ferrari. Reacting to Bearman's performance in Mexico on the latest episode of Sky Sports' The F1 Show, Brundle said, "Absolutely outstanding. If you give that young man an opportunity, he'll grab it, like he did in Saudi with the Ferrari drive. He kept his head under a lot of pressure, especially in the closing stages with Oscar Piastri's McLaren behind him. He put a move on Max Verstappen, made it stick, didn't go 4 wheels off the road. The moment that there's a seat at Ferrari for whatever reason, then Bearman should be in it as far as I'm concerned. I think he's outstanding and he's learning fast and he's making the most of his opportunity." Now, I agree, Bearman is doing everything to show that he deserves a seat at Ferrari in the future. I feel one more year at Haas and he'll be ready for a Ferrari seat. At the end of the day, this is his rookie season, and of course there have been some mistakes. There may have been some performances that Bearman felt he could have done better, but with him having performed really well over the course of the season, I reckon one more year of learning at Haas and he'll be ready for a Ferrari seat. Now, on the subject of Ferrari, as we know, it's not been the season Lewis Hamilton would have wanted in his first year with the team. There have been some good performances like the sprint win in China, a few P4 finishes as well, but Hamilton remained without a Grand Prix podium for his new team after 20 appearances and trails teammate Charles Leclerc by 64 points in the standings with 4 races remaining in 2025. Now, Ferrari opted against specifying the exact length of Hamilton's contract when it was announced Hamilton would be joining the team from Mercedes in February 2024, with the arrangement being described as only a multi-year deal. But according to Planet F1, Hamilton's contract could be worth around $57 million, and, as I said earlier, is to last at least until the end of the 2026 season. However, a fresh report from ESPN has claimed that several senior people have indicated that Ferrari will not offer Hamilton an extension when his current deal expires, with ESPN saying, "As for Hamilton, several senior paddock figures have suggested to ESPN that the 7-time world champion will not be offered another contract when his expires at the end of 2026, given his performances." Now, Planet F1 say that a report by Italian publication La Gazzetta dello Sport claimed in August that Hamilton's contract contains an option purely on his side, allowing him to extend his deal until the end of 2027. Now, Hamilton is very motivated to do well with Ferrari and wants to be world champions with them. in 2026, and it'll be interesting to see what happens. But if 2026 does end up being Hamilton's last year, then, as I said before, I think Bearman would be ready to step into the seat for 2027. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. But that's going to be the video from me today. Thank you ever so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for more videos, and until the next one, take care. Bye.